Hello everyone, my name is Pintobread and welcome to Bloompunk, another student-made game like many of the others I've done on this channel. Bloompunk is a roguelike FPS hybrid set in a vibrant world of animated plants, where fauna and mechanics have mixed terribly. This game was put together by the students of USC Games, which is the University of Southern California Games. According to themselves on their website, under their gaming program, they are consistently recognized as one of the top-ranked game design programs in North America by the Princeton Review. If you're not familiar with USC Games, don't worry about that. That's okay. We've done multiple of their games on this channel, though, including Curvis Blade, I can never pronounce it right, Ilum, Blind Sight, War of the Wardens, and Nomad. And while none of them have ever been exactly, perfect, each one has had something in it that made me stop and really enjoy it, even despite its lack of polish or its technical limitation. The fact that any game that I play on this channel, no matter the developer, no matter if it was made by trained developers, just plain gamers, or students trying to learn how to make games, whenever you put this much effort into a game, and I can see that much effort's been put into it, I don't consider it bad, just because it might have a few flaws that you wouldn't see in a AAA game. Just might need some extra loving or criticism to help them get where they need to be. In this game, we'll be going over the story as much as we can actually get from a game this short, the gameplay mechanics, and the overall gameplay itself, and just, how it feels. They say good things bloom if you wait, but your impatience spawned this fate. To strive for greater is in science's nature, to grow towards the sun and surpass our maker. Yet your finest creation is now corrupt. The heart of the forest will soon destruct. Your enemies protect the source of power, though it spells the end of shroom and flower. Sitting with Kukui in our lab, we synthesize energy in its purest form, a bright, effervescent green, while we also see the overuse of said energy being a sickly purple. Deciding to take our energy to the tree, the natural life force of the forest, we offer the tree the power of the energy in hopes that the tree can use it to better the forest. After combining both nature and machine into the tree and fitting it with our power, we distribute the energy to the protectors as well as share it with the residents of the forest. From there, the energy is shared amongst all of the forest in hopes it will help better all of our lives, but some are already showing signs of overuse, and as corruption and unrest spread throughout the forest. I decided to check on the tree in hopes of not being too late. Unfortunately, the energy had already corrupted the tree. There it sat, decayed and contaminated beyond recognition. I must destroy the engine with the very same power that created it. The protectors of the forest, now corrupted, turn on me. I've become cornered. I am no match for them. Kukui comes to my rescue. After being saved by Kukui in the fall, we have awoken at the bottom of the chasm, and Kukui begins to take us through the tutorial of the game, it being either the very basic or the advanced, with basic only going over the bare minimum of movement, while the advanced touches on some of the more complicated movements, though I do want to stress that for anyone who's played any movement-based type game before, this will be very easy to get into. While the tutorial is short and Kukui is very cute, we come to probably the saddest part of this entire game. I always hate these parts. I don't know why. Not like you become attached to any of the characters, but still, it's the only character you really get to know, and that's Kukui. And our boy will be remembered forever. R.I.P. Kukui. Gone but not forgotten. After having just witnessed the death of Kukui, our only friend, we go on a 6-wave killing spree with objectives being mildly different each time. So for 4 of the 6 waves, I had killed this specific type of enemy this amount of times, be it 15 sting shots, which are the sniper types, or 8 hivebacks, which is the tower types. And then it would be the other 2 waves, survival for 2 minutes. While I didn't necessarily have a problem with the objectives, I didn't like that you could complete the kill 15 sting shots objective in like less than 30 seconds, whereas you have the other survival objectives, which forces you to stay alive for 2 minutes, which is, I get it, so much funner, and you can't have all 6 waves be survived for X amount of time. I just think the game would benefit overall if they just up the amount by probably another 20 per. So instead of 15 sting shots, it would be 35. And while that kind of sounds like a lot, the time to kill in this game is super fast, especially with the upgrades between each level. Makes it super easy just to go through every enemy type. After surviving a wave, you'll be greeted with the upgrade screen. Now, this is a student-made game, so I've already tempered my expectations, and while I have positive and negatives about it, I'll explain it first. Abilities are an actual part of you as a being, so they need to be maintained. This is done through a very interesting mechanic called regrowth conditions. Each ability has its own unique one. Once an ability dies, it can no longer be used and will have to be replaced. You can have up to 3 abilities equipped with 3 passives equipped to each ability, though you will lose the passives if you lose the ability, and you can only equip 1 ability and 2 passives per wave. There isn't a ton of variety when it comes to picking abilities in between waves, but there are at least 4 abilities. We have Pulse, which summons a gust of wind to damage enemies and creates distance, my personal favorite. Thorn Wall, which throws up a wall of thorns protecting from ranged weapons and any pursuers too close to stop from touching the thorns. Sun Laser, which, as the name suggests, harnesses the energy of the sun to incinerate our enemies. And lastly, my least favorite one is Petal Barrage, which just launches damaging petals at the enemy, which is okay, but the way that the animation moves it is just weird for me. I didn't quite like it. While only 2 passives can be equipped each wave, you can equip up to 3 on each ability, but you can lose them with the abilities lost by regrowth condition. They range from accuracy, melee damage, clip size, multi-shot, bullet damage, and an extra jump. To my knowledge, any of them could theoretically be stacked up to 9 times through the 3 abilities. While only having 4 abilities is a bit of a bummer, I could be wrong though. I didn't have any other abilities pop up but those 4 for me. I do like that each ability is wildly different. I mean, each can be used in its own way to play the game differently, and unfortunately combos might not be a huge deal in this game. It is fun to use like Pulse to get real high and then Sun Laser to just kind of angle it down and rain in hell from above. I like that stuff. It's fun, it's enjoyable. You try to find those, like, I'm not gonna say silver linings because you're not playing a terrible game, but you try to find even more reasons to enjoy a game that's made by students. At least I do. And I knew going into this that it was a student game, so only having 4 abilities might have been a bummer at first, but then it kind of turned around and I was just like, well, it's kind of awesome they were able to put out 4 working abilities that aren't useless to the players and just not fun to play with. So kudos to those guys. The final objective, to destroy the engine in the tree. While every other wave has been non-stop fight after fight, this final time we can take our time and listen to the silence of the now barren forest as we make our way to the engine. We only need a few shots to destroy it. After surviving through 6 waves of enemies, the loss of Kukui, and the destruction of our entire home and people, we are now the last one standing, left with the task of destroying the engine in the tree, hopefully stopping the corruption, but unfortunately destroying the tree in the process, though maybe one day allowing for a new regrowth to eventually come from this destruction. Bloompunk was awesome. I gotta thank USC Games again for making another just good game. I love the atmosphere of it. I love the aesthetic of it. I love the different plant life. I love the character models for the protectors. I love the lore. Even though the game is only 15-20 minutes long, it still managed to have at least somewhat of a good story that made sense. I enjoyed the gunplay, the accuracy upgrade. Actually, you could tell the bullets were getting more accurate and when they weren't when you added multi-shot. It was a really just a visual thing, and it was just awesome. I really enjoyed that. You know, as a player, I can't explain in technical terms how it would sound, but I mean, as a player, it was awesome. The movement was very clean. It was effective. I didn't find myself getting caught on any random hitboxes or like jutting out branches or anything. Using the gust wind to move me, never got caught on anything. It was awesome. Only wish that the game would change the objectives as I had discussed. Obviously, that would have been awesome, but you know, whatever. Sad part about these games is that even though you may love the aesthetic, may love the atmosphere, this will be the only time we ever see it. It's never going to come back. They're never going to do anything else with it. It's sad, but this little, you know, 12, 13, 14-minute video, however long it ends up being, is all I'll ever really remember of it. But it was so nice to jet out this moment in time to play this game, and I'm happy I did it. So thank you guys. Thank you to the team at Bloompunk. You guys were awesome. As always, my name is Pintobread, and thank you for watching. Have a good one.